12. Really? Minus 12? How can you do that? They have the fewest takeaways in football at -3, so the defense will not take the ball away.
Correct.
And they have turned it over by far the most times, 15-12 for the Vikings and Eagles. As you know, that is a recipe not just for losing, it's for disaster.
Absolutely.
Okay. So worst defense and turnover differential. And now on, on points allowed off turnovers, they are a -74. They've given up 74 points off turnovers. That's the worst in the last 20 years through the first 6 games.
Yes.
Think about that. This is historically bad on all fronts.
That was worse than, I think the 13 Texans, that was the year they got Jadeveon Clowney with the #1 overall pick. They were 2-14.
Got it. Would you believe that now my defense has fallen all the way to 2nd in rush yards allowed, 2nd in the league, and just barely 2nd. They're almost 1st because the Texans have given up 178 a game. They've given up, my Cowboys, 173 a game. And remember, 307 to Cleveland, and now last night, 216 to Arizona. To Arizona?
Skip, and the thing,
216?
What should have been embarrassing, Skip, is that the last play, Arizona's just trying to run out the clock, Skip.
Yeah.
Gone. And he hits his head on the goalpost from 70?
It's quit. Okay, so here's my biggest takeaway. Last night, Andy Dalton was the least of my problems.
Right.
The biggest of my problems was the best player on the field for my team, and it's Ezekiel Elliott. Shannon, I keep telling you, I keep waiting to see good old Zeke, and I see shell of self. I thought maybe he would come out last night possessed to win one for his best friend Dak. He dedicated the season to Dak Prescott, who suffered a freakish accident of a tragic injury that cost him the rest of the year. I still can't quite process how it happened. And I thought Zeke, after the burst we saw at the end of the Giants game in which he scored and held up a #4 for his #4 Dak Prescott, and I thought we were going to get to see this last night about 3 or 4 times. And I saw tiny little bursts early, but I saw unfocused. I saw not completely into it, because you've seen running backs come out and just like Ronald Jones right now for Tampa, he just comes out and he plays with a rage, and he's going to get 100 whether you like it or not. Zeke has now gone 6 straight games to start this year without going over 100 yards. That has something, if not a lot, to do with you fall behind so quickly.
Right.
But he's 3rd on the team in catches because they target him a lot.
That's not a good thing, though.
But he's not doing much with the balls that he catches, because he's 31st in yards per catch among those qualified who catch. So he's averaging 6.4 per catch. It's not enough.
No.
He's not hurting you. He's not making you pay.
Those passes, Skip, are behind or near the line of scrimmage.
They are. So first fumble occurs. What happens? Andy Dalton actually did a nice job of escaping the blitz rush, because they were Vance Joseph, which, as he should have been, was all over him.
He was bringing gas.
Bringing just the house.
He was.
He was bringing 4 houses. They were coming from everywhere, and Andy Dalton did a nice job of escaping, and he flipped it to Zeke. And when the play occurred, my first thought was, he'll break this one loose for 20 yards because there'll be nobody home in the middle of the field.
Right, because they came on the blitz.
And your man Buddha was on the spot, and he got a hand on the football, and it's loose, and it's fallen upon by a red jersey.
I don't think Zeke didn't anticipate. Skip, because the thing is, Zeke sees the blitz. He's like, okay, I got this. I'm gone now.
He thought he was gone.
And he relaxed.
I thought he was gone.
Yes.
And then we turn it right around before I can even catch my breath, a series or so later, and he fumbles again and gets stripped. And the first one allowed a 54-yard drive, but the second one allowed a 27-yard drive to the 14-0 touchdown. It won't work. And what happened was the defense played inspired for a little while, but after you go fumble, all of a sudden even the defense is saying, okay, that's enough.
Here we go again.
And then it comes down to 19 seconds left in the first half. And Andy Dalton actually drove them down and made a couple of good throws, and he made a very good throw to Michael Gallup at the goal line. And all of a sudden I'm thinking, okay, it's going to be 21-7. Here it is. And they get the ball to start the second half. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe they can climb back into this game. We can have sort of a mini Dak here rally. And Michael Gallup, who's been his favorite target so far, you just have to snag that one. You just have to catch it. Okay, and it rips what's left of your heart out because it's 21-3 at halftime. And then, if I could, then we get to the third quarter, and even the refs are just looking down their nose at this team because CeeDee Lamb, their stud rookie, he gets open, I thought, for a second, and Drake Kirkpatrick just tackles him in the middle of the field, just tackles him. And Andy Dalton throws it where he thinks CeeDee is going to break to, and it's just a tackle, and the primary receiver becomes Drake Kirkpatrick, and it's an interception. After they had moved the ball, he just hit Amari for 26 yards, and I thought, okay, maybe they'll make it respectable, and then the ceiling fell in.
Skip, aren't you asking yourself, where is CeeDee Lamb? Where is Amari Cooper when the score is 7-0? Where are these guys when it's 14-0? Where are these guys? It seems to me that they can't find these guys until they're down 21-3 or 41-14. Where are these guys in the meantime, Skip? Are they not there?
Good question. Okay, here's the worst insult to injury. I've gone from the best offensive line in football to, and I'm not exaggerating, the worst offensive line in football. I had one stud lineman left last night going into this game, and his name is Zach Martin. And mid-first quarter, he gets kneed in the head by my own guy, Zeke. If it had been a Cardinal who kneed him in the head, I'd take it, but Zeke got him right in the head and knocked him woozy, and he teeters off the field. It was a 4-yard gain, and boom, right in the head.
That's the one that gets you right there.
Got him good. And number 70 is out of the game, concussed.
Yes.
And I don't know if he'll be ready for Washington. They have to go to Washington or not. So I want you to think about this. I'm down to 2 undrafted free agents. One of them a rookie, one a second-year player at my tackles in place of Ty Smith and Lyle Collins. Those are Pro Bowlers. They're all pro-quality tackles, right?
Ty Smith is on the Hall of Fame.
Okay, he's on a Hall of Fame. He probably will be in the Hall of Fame. As you well know, my center, Travis Frederick, was forced to retire. So you have a rookie from Wisconsin in at center right now, a 4th-round pick. It's a little shaky if you're... okay.
He ain't Frederick.
Okay, so now I have... at right tackle, a Connor McGovern, who'd been viewed as something of a bust so far because he was
McGovern Williams.
But he replaced Zach
so
Martin.
You got 2 Connors.
2 Connors. But he's from Penn State, a 3rd-round pick, so he's in his 2nd year, but he hadn't been able to do much, and he got thrown into the fire last night. And Connor Williams has been the weakest link when it was the best offensive line. The weakest link was Connor Williams, and he's still left at left guard, unfortunately. So those 5 are trying to protect a quarterback who got thrown into the red blazing Arizona fire last night, the desert fire. And what do you think's going to happen? Well, mostly Andy Dalton's going to be running for his life. And that's pretty much the sum story of the night.
And they're generating this kind of pressure without their best pass rusher in Chandler Jones. Can you imagine had he been healthy in that game? Andy Dalton, they might have had to just snap the ball to the running back and just say, take off, son, because we can't block here. But anytime you give it away, and you don't take it away, as you mentioned, it's a recipe for disaster. And they're giving it away at an alarming rate. Skip, you don't expect your defense to take the ball away 4 times a game, but you damn sure don't expect your offense to turn it over. And what we're seeing is that they're turning it over. There's 6 games in. They have, 15? So they're only 2.5, almost 2.5 turnovers a game. And you got 3. So you're getting 0.5 turnovers per game, creating 0.5. Well, your defense is so bad is that, okay, you might force them to a field goal. Skip, they're getting touchdowns. They're not getting that. You're not making them punt. It doesn't matter where you turn the ball over. The team is taking that football and driving it down the field. And so I think Zeke is also, Skip, Zeke is pressing. Zeke is like, I got to do something. I got to do something. I got to do something. And as you mentioned, says, I want to dedicate this season. He's trying to do too much. Just go back to being Zeke Elliott. Zeke Elliott is good enough without adding this extra burden on his plate because he knows, Skip, defensively, we're not that good. And if I don't have a 100-yard game, if I don't control this tempo, we're going to drop back the pass. He see all those guys. He's like, well, hell, I can barely run. No Ty Smith, no Lyle Collins, no Zach Martin, no Travis Frederick, Connor Williams. Ooh. And so he's like, and he's trying to do too much, Skip. He's trying to do too much. And when you try to do too much, and now what his guys have seen on tape, let's tackle the football. Damn him. Let's tackle the football. Now, he better address this. Because guys, they're going after the ball now, Skip. because they know and he's going to be more conscious of it, so he's not going to be able to break the tackles that he normally would because he's focused on the football.
Yep. If you have to wrap up, you can't have as much wiggle.
Exactly.
Yeah. I just wish that either the Eagles or the Giants or the Redskins had put me out of my misery by at least taking off, because then I could just give up and focus on Tom Brady the rest of the year.
Nope.
But they won't let me. I have to continue to watch, because now we've got Thursday night Giants at Eagles,
right,
and then Sunday we got Cowboys at Washington. And what am I supposed to do with it? Just suffer.
The two football teams.
Suffer.
Y'all should not be known as the Cowboys.
Yeah.
The Dallas football team takes on the Washington football team. That's what it should be known as, because both of y'all are terrible.
Well, how can you put football in front of team? It's just a team. They're
Okay,
not even
Dallas,
a football
the
team.
Dallas team?
They're the Dallas team.
Skip, this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing.
It's beyond embarrassing. Truly, last night I was just humiliated by the end of the game. It was the third worst home loss at Jerry World, but it felt like the worst.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this, Skip, and I'm watching. I'm like, dude, I mean, I pulled the tape, Skip. Watch this. I want this touchdown run here by Kenyon Drake. We got that copy. You watch what they do to Alden Smith. He's in the circle. Look at this, Skip. Look where he is. He's 5 yards deep in the end.